Welcome to today's podcast. I'm Taylor Jackson. Thank you for joining me this Monday. I'm actually recording this in New York City right now. I'm in a beautiful room and there's curtains. There's a bed that's on the floor. A bit weird. If you're a Patreon member, you would have saw this video on Wednesday. Little room tour. It's a very nice view. So you pay for the view. You don't pay for the 45 square feet of space that you get in a New York City apartment. Today, I'm talking about something that is a little bit, I don't know, maybe interesting. If you're a fan of Drake, I feel like the thing with Drake is that everybody kind of is a fan of him in one way or another, which is kind of remarkable. I would say that it's very, very rare that you can find somebody that's so cross-platform that like your mom loves him and like you love him and the kids love him. So it's definitely an exception to the rule that you're supposed to niche down and get really good and dialed at one specific thing. He seems to have an audience that is kind of across the board, which is really, really cool and shows that it is possible. I'm going to talk to you today specifically about the business lessons that I've learned from Drake. And the number one, if you're a member of Patreon, it's also Patreon September. So if you want to join up and get a new video every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for the month of September, join up. Just join for 1 month, hang around if you want, or leave October 1st or maybe the 30th. Don't leave on October 1st because you're going to get charged for the next week. I recommend you stay. It'll be nice. We can be friends. We can hang out. So Drake, getting back to the topic here, is really an ambassador to the city of Toronto. It's actually kind of interesting that his influence on the city of Toronto and the fact that he keeps putting it in his music has actually increased tourism quite significantly over, I guess, like his rise to success, that now whenever you turn on the radio, you're hearing either him or one of his buddies that we're going to talk about a little bit, talking about something to do with Toronto. And it really has had a positive impact on the entire city for a number of reasons, but also for tourism, which is really, really funny. He truly is an ambassador to the entire city. And the thing that you can take away from this as a business owner is that you can be the ambassador to your city. You don't have to wait for anyone's permission. You can just go out and start building the content that you wish that existed. I talk about this on Patreon a lot, about just like creating those projects that are good for your community and good for you to, one, go out and dial your skills and get a lot better technically. And then two, creating something that's amazing for your community is going to get you known, whether you're making money on that specific project. The short answer is probably you're not going to if you're self-doing a project. There are ways to do it. We've had success with Kickstarter campaigns. We've had success in just like general sponsorship. I do a food show, and the food show is all local. We just go to restaurants like the Hidden Gems, or we have dinner parties in the middle of the street and do all kinds of strange and unusual things. And during that food show, we've attracted a number of sponsors that have actually paid for the entire production of the food show, which is really awesome. And when we did our documentary, Startup Community, it came out a long time ago. It was pretty much, I wanted to know what was going on with startups and why that was happening in our city. We have the University of Waterloo, which is a big university that was putting out a lot of good engineering talent. And we just kind of had this weird high per capita range of just like really successful, fast scaling businesses. So I wanted to know more about that. I wanted to get more into that world. And when I did that, I was actually fortunate enough to pretty much, like, if I wanted to do a full pivot on my career and leave weddings and just do full commercial video or video for startups or Kickstarter videos for equity or whatever it might be, I had those opportunities, but I decided that I like weddings. So maybe that's a testament if you're on the fence about wedding photography and you're like, wow, like the grass is really greener on the other side. I assure you that weddings are amazing. You're taking photos at people's parties. What could be better than that? And also you get to play with cameras, and you get to play with cameras in all kinds of different technical situations. And also people are putting things together to make your life easy. Your portfolio is a reflection of the clients that you're attracting. And if those clients are putting together amazing wedding days with great details, you're going to look like a rock star photographer, even though you showed up and just took the pictures. At the end of the day, that's kind of what we do. It's kind of funny. So as like you guys, I'm sure know, my advice is always to go out and start shooting your own portfolio. So like set up those shoots and just start creating what you want to be paid for eventually, and you'll get there at some point. Back to Drake, ambassador of the city. And always, I guess, he's surrounded by a good group of friends. And I feel like that is critically important to any success really as an entrepreneur. Working with your friends, one, is awesome. I feel like I said this in the How to Be Successful at Photography video, my idea of success is doing work that you like with the people that you want to hang out with for the people that just aren't your friends yet. And I think that that is true to my life and what I've kind of built, and that we're doing all these new cool projects. One that I can't talk about yet, but it's involving like two of my best friends, and we get to just go and do things that we would want to be doing anyways. So if you're able to do that, I feel like there's a lot of success. I feel like Drake embodies that. He also collaborates with a lot of different people, and I feel like it's really, really important to collaborate with different people in your local area. If you're a wedding photographer, figure out ways to start collaborating with all the people that are kind of those A-list members of the wedding society in your local area, and just start reaching out and figure out what you can do for them, what you can do to make their life easier, to make their life just like way better. To how are you going to book them work? If you can figure out how to book other wedding vendors work, and not just by like, oh, like I'll refer you, something with actual like hard leads coming in, at that point, they're going to be over the moon to work with you, and they're going to love you forever. So if you can figure out how to do that, and also give them images too. Like I feel like wedding photographers, every time we're at a wedding, it's like, oh yeah, buy hair and makeup artist. I'm sure I'll send you photos, and then you never do. Just do it. Like sit down right now while you're listening to this and just start sending out images to that makeup artist that you forgot about, or the florist, or whoever it might be. Collaborating with people and surrounding yourself with people that you really enjoy working with it's obviously going to lead to a much more like life level excitement, happiness high. But also it's going to make you a lot better. You're going to be way more passionate and excited to go out and do the jobs, and to just like create the best work ever possible by you and yourself, like together with this team. So I think that's really cool. I think there's also something to be said. I think the saying is that like you're the product of the 5 people that you spend most of your time around, something like that. I'm paraphrasing it. With that, I think it also goes digitally as well, that if you hang out and you listen to a lot of podcasts, if you listen to the same like person that does a daily podcast every single day, or like twice a week, or whatever, you are going to be a lot closer of a friend to them than the high school friend that you see once every 6 months. So if you can associate yourself, at least mentally, with all the people that you really do like and respect and want to emulate in some way, I think that's a thing that you can do right now, that you can just start downloading podcasts, you can start consuming content, and you can essentially make them, even though you're not friends in real life, like they can be one of those inner circle of friends that really do have a positive impact in your life. So I don't know, Drake kind of did that, I guess, and still continues to do that. Kind of losing sight of the Drake. I tried to come up with a hooky title, and kind of losing it a little bit. Another thing, I guess, that is very important and that Drake has embodied for sure is versatility throughout a career. That whatever you're creating right now does not have to be what you're creating 5 years from now, and you can change and grow and evolve. As like Drake began as an actor on a Canadian show called Degrassi, and now there's some speculation. My friend Ann Donahue actually wrote a bit of an essay about this, that he actually wrote the character of Drake and then started playing Drake, and now he's become Drake. So Drake was actually a fictional character that he slowly became over time. Thought it was a very thoughtful essay, a very interesting take on it. But you can definitely pivot, and you can continue to grow regardless of where you're at. So if you're not excited with the exact style of photography you're doing right now, as I said earlier, go out, start creating that portfolio, put those shoots together, and just like start building the body of work that you want to be paid for, because that is the only way it's going to come to you, or that's the fastest way it's going to come to you. If you sit back and just wait for it to come, it really is going to take years and years of time to arrive on your doorstep, which is kind of what I did. And I would have been, if I could have gone back, I would have definitely changed that and sped that process up so that I would have been to the point that I wanted to be a lot faster. And then with that, you also start unlocking a lot more opportunities earlier in your career as well, which is, I think, something that we all could strive to. Another thing that I am personally, as well as Tim and Lindsay, I know, are definitely advocates of, it is to let your actions speak for you rather than just like going on Facebook and being like, big things coming. Just like go out and actually do a thing and then tell the world about it, or in the while you're in the process of it. Like you don't need to post your vision board on Facebook. Just like go out and do a thing and just like get that content out into the world and be excited about that. And maybe like even if by not posting that, if it gives you a little bit more excitement to go out and get it done now because you do want to post about it, I feel like that's only a good thing. So don't stress out too much about that. I didn't really link that together very well. Last thing, vulnerabilities are an advantage, I think, in 2019, going into 2020, going into the rest of time. I think that we all struggle with our vulnerabilities. I am obviously like quite introverted and quite quiet and shy. And I have found that by talking about that and by like, you actually connect with people. So whatever you're kind of afraid that people will find out about you, you can just lead with it. And it seems to create much more honest connections as well as relationships and friendships than anything else you could do. So don't try to just like be a carbon copy of this person that you follow online or that you look up to. Like there are ways that you can take elements from that and strategies and tactics from that, but also if you can link that back to something that's honest and true to you, I feel like there are better opportunities. And then also you just get to actually be yourself, which is kind of cool. So you're not writing a fictional character like Drake and then becoming Drake, that you're actually just being you, which I think is a little bit easier than that. So yeah, that's the podcast today. I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that you're having a great day wherever you are. Thank you for joining me here on this Monday, and I'll be back again on Friday, 2 times a week, Monday, Friday, podcast, also podcast.